Oh, welcome, man. Hope you're doing well and staying safe and warm. Make sure we're turned up. Hold on. Let's do this. Do. Hope we're all doing well. If you're new, I'm Scott. Welcome to Real Talk with Scott. And yeah, let's talk about some real talk about loneliness. I remember the feelings of loneliness. But I also know like that loneliness is the big difference between loneliness and being alone. It's a choice. I can feel lonely, but it's a choice to be alone, right? It's a choice to not get out of my house. It's a choice to isolate, but I choose to do the opposite of that today. I choose to get out. I tried to connect with others. I try to make sure that I'm trying to do my best to communicate because people don't know where you are up here if you are not saying, "Hey, look, I'm dealing with some stuff," right? So it's up to me to make sure that I'm getting out of my comfort zone a lot of times, learning how to get out of your comfort zone. Like today for me, like I'm a lot less of the afraid of the unknown today, right? I'm more apt to go out and try to find new things to learn about or to experience today, right? And like I really had a really hard time with change. And because I didn't like change, change was scary. Anything little, any little different change in my life would set me off. It was a giant trigger before, right? So like now today, like I need to be challenged today, right? And being out here and being able to confront or parts of myself or have conversations with people in my world today that are going to ask me questions that are going to look force me to look at myself and say, okay, well let's reevaluate that, right? Because sometimes my thoughts and my opinions can still be quite skewed, right? So like being able to have other opinions and having a sounding board and making and doing my best to articulate with the words I have to right now, right? Because like as I learn and I grow and I evolve, like my perceptions and my views, they also evolve, right? So like for me, I need to be ask questions. I need to ask questions, right? And as long as I'm open to new perceptions of ways of thinking or perceiving the world and the world about myself, that also like is showing that I'm also continuing to be teachable. I always need to be teachable. Like I don't want to get back to the spot where I got this because when I get there, that's when like life falls apart all over again and I gotta rebuild, right? And like I'm to the point where no sir, I don't want any more of that, right? So like I need to make sure that I'm open to new ways of thinking, new ways of perceiving myself as well as the world about myself, and evolving and growing and learning. And when I learn new things, then I can share that with others, and maybe someone else may that is also maybe struggling with something. They that what I share, maybe they can that also like um move something with them themselves as well, right? Because I still have a lot of aha moments. I still have a lot of firsts. I still have like I'll go through a situation and like 15, 16 years ago, I would have looked at that and dealt with that situation totally different than I would have like today, right? But like I have moments today. Well, holy crap! I just did the thing, right? I did that. I didn't have to get all stressed out. I didn't have to make it any bigger than it was. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. I just could look at the situation, make sure I have all the information, and instead of just reacting, I could respond in that situation, right? And when I'm responding to things, I get a lot better results, right? And I want more of that. I'm hungry for that. I've had the drama, I've had the chaos, I've had all that, and I don't need or want that anymore. I want to grow. I want to learn. I want to evolve. I just don't want to be stagnant, you know? I don't I Sometimes I can like I just don't want to be like comfortable and like I don't know. I want to be comfortable, but I also don't like just want to. I used to just sit in situations that were just familiar. They may have been like horrible or toxic, but they were familiar, right? So like when I started to venture out and I end up in a situation from my past or something like that, in a similar situation, and that before would have been normal. It would have been acceptable. But today, a lot of those things in environments or situations or whatever that I was doing in my life before are no longer acceptable to me today, right? So I've grown and evolved and have become something bigger and better than that today, right? So I don't have to sit in something that I'm not comfortable with. I can say no, that's not acceptable, or I'm just gonna remove myself from that event or situation or relationship or whatever it is, because I'm not like I just did that with work. I wasn't gonna sit around and let someone just implode upon themselves or the situation or whatever was going on. Like I had people tell me like that's not your stuff, right? None of the stuff in the background that was going on over there it's not yours, right? And so I don't have to hold on to stuff or let people dictate how I live my life today. Hey, Ren for Life, welcome in. I'm Scott. Welcome to Real Talk with Scott. Hope your day is going well. I hope you're having a productive day. And so yeah, you don't have to stay in a situation or a relationship or anything that's toxic or something that you think I saw before. Like I was talking yesterday about a lot of the things that I was going through in my past because they were familiar. I was afraid of change, right? So because I was afraid of change or anything different, I would stay in something, stay in a toxic environment or a relationship because it was familiar. I had to get to an understanding that I deserve better than that. We all deserve the good things. We don't deserve to be like abused or taken advantage of. We're not doormats, especially as men. We're not doormats, right? There's a lot asked of us, or in a relationship, we're supposed to be the provider, but what's the other person in on the other side of on the other part of the relationship? What are they bringing to the table? What are they bringing to the relationship, right? So like we shouldn't be solely responsible for holding up everything, right? There should be. I'm a big advocate for equality, right? If we're with someone, and we and you and I find that I'm the only one holding up this relationship, then why am I spending my most precious commodity, which is my time, with this individual? It's not worth my time. They're just a drain on my energy and in my wallet. Right? So like why we don't have to stay in a situation that's detrimental to our well-being, especially as men, right? So like we have the choice. We have the choice to either stay in a situation where we're being taken advantage of, or we can say hell no. No, I'm moving on. I deserve better than this, right? We deserve to be treated with respect and honor and all this. We're talking about Jesus again. This Mexican guy keeps showing up in the chat. All right, Jesus. I don't know how this Mexican dude's gonna give me eternal life. I have no idea. I'm not interested in talking about this Mexican guy named Jesus. So yeah, we deserve better than to be taken advantage of, or to be like, we're like, I'm doing my best to like be like, okay, so I don't I'm instead of being a drain on society, I want to try to be, I'm trying my best to be more of a high value man, right? Like, I want to be a high value part of society. I don't want to be a drain on society. And we as men, we're allowed to use our voice. I think a lot of the time, like for me, I can identify with a man without a voice in the past. I didn't know how to use my voice in a positive manner that was going to lift me up as an equal part in a relationship. I was the one that was okay. I'll go along. I'll be the babysitter. You can go out with your friends and shit like that. No, that's not no longer acceptable to me. If I was to ever meet someone again, in a relationship, I would be straight up with that. It's like I was married to someone for a while, and we were together 24/7, right? And then she started to go out and be with her friends, and I was always left behind. We deserve to not be left behind as men, right? This equality. Women should have women's night with her women friends, and guys should have guys' nights or whatever with their guy friends. Like, but at the same time, it's important that you also find that time together as a couple. Like as a man, we should be making sure that we're putting time aside for that exact thing, right? To make sure that our partner or girlfriend or whatever, like they're not feeling left behind either. And that's where like the whole equality thing comes in. So like making sure that there's the equality aspect of the relationship has a very strong footing. But like having time apart is also is very important as well. Like being together with someone 24/7, we were at each other's throats a lot of the times, right? So like making sure we have time, like the saying, like time when you're away from someone. What's the saying? Distance makes the heart grow fonder, or something like that. Like that's true. So like being able to make sure you're putting time aside for your partner is super important. But there's like I learned talking to a worker one time, like there's two eyes in a relationship, right? There's two eyes. So there should be two individuals, right? So each individual should have their own their stuff they do, and like each individual is their own person. So we don't have to be like, I think I'll be super honest. I was like super clingy in the past with partners or girlfriends or whatever in the past. 'Cause I thought I really had a really bad time with codependency, right? I thought someone had to have some in my life all the time. I didn't know how to be alone. Oh shit. Right? I didn't know how to be alone. So like I had to learn to be like comfortable in my own company. Right? Because I didn't know how to look after myself or do my own self-care, or I didn't know how to be present for myself. I thought I had to be like always being there for someone else, I was always giving way too much of myself away, and ended up leaving myself feeling depleted. So I don't have to do that today. I can find balance. I can find time for myself, right? And if I meet someone in the future, that I want to make sure that they have time for themselves, but as well as time for us together as well. And that's like super important. Being able to make sure that they feel like they're not being left behind. Because I know what it feels like to be left behind as a man in a relationship. And it sucks. Because you just feel like you're continuously just being taken advantage of on a regular basis. And it's not a fun time. Right? So like it's I don't know. You have to find, I think you really got to find someone that they have your same. So I'm a big advocate for traditional values, right? I'm an older guy. You know, I don't know if I'm going to meet someone older, like at my age, or someone younger, or whatever. That's here nor there. But like, I'm a huge advocate of like traditional values, right? So like, I want to make sure that if I am with someone, that it's not just one sided, right? I want to make sure that they have a very good understanding that I'm gonna have things I'm gonna be doing. But it's also important that you have things for yourself that you do with your girlfriends or whatever as well. Because having that time apart and having I never really had my own circle of guy friends growing up. Like neither like me or my sister growing up. We're always the new kids on the block, so we never really had our own circle of friends. And that's a whole other thing. Like we were homeless, living under our car. Our parents were tax evaders, so we were always like moving around. And at one point, we were living in the states illegally for a couple years and shit. So it's insane. Like we never learned how to socialize. We never had like a moral rudder installed into us. Like we never had any of that. Like basic things like learning basic hygiene or how to you find yourself in a situation at school, how to defend yourself or anything like that, right? So like we've been like self-taught from like from birth, right? We're here like our parents were unpresent. I tell everyone we lived in a home. We lived in a house with other humanoids in a domicile all over the place. That's because we never really had a home. We didn't have a home. We had places we lived because we didn't live anywhere long enough to call anywhere a home, right? That's like why now like you guys or the people in my life or my recovery family, you guys are my family. You guys are my sounding board. You guys are the people that I've learned how to confide in or be comfortable enough to share parts of myself with. Because I'm more comfortable with the interpersonal stuff than the one-on-one stuff because I still am learning how to freaking human. And that's the only way I can explain how I'm trying to navigate the world because all I've done my whole life until I came into recovery when I was like 38 or whatever was just how to act. I was like the chameleon. I learned how to fit in anywhere, right? So I really didn't really have my own identity for like most of my life. I'm just learning how to actually be like a whole person, right? So like if anyone out there can like identify with stuff like that, that's like the meat and but like the meat and potatoes of why I make these videos or have this kind of content in the first place. Because like I felt so alone up in my own brain for so long until I came into like the rooms of recovery, and instead of just comparing myself to other people, I started to learn how to like relate with others instead of comparing myself. I wasn't that bad, or I no but I hear people's stories, and some people's stories I listen to are pretty brutal. My story is pretty rough, but I hear people sharing parts of their story, parts of their life's journey, and I'm like, holy hell, right? So like, there's always gonna be someone else out there that's gonna like, it's gonna like, holy shit, wow, you had all that happen in your life, but look at where you are now. Like that's how I want to project myself out in society today. I wanna inspire others. I want to give other people hope. I want to give others hope that even though you might be going through a rough time or going through a rough spot right now, there, there's always hope. And hope might sound very daunting and scary and pointless. And I've done a lot of work, and one of my people I know, I've started a men's group, and one of the first thing we talked about was hope. And when we hear the word hope, how's that word hope translate to you, right? I've gone from what's the point in hoping to like maybe there's more out there. right? More out there to experience, right? Well, let's see where this goes. Where, so like I don't feel so alone. I don't up in my brain today, right? And I want to, and that's why I come out here and I talk with you guys. And it's not so much we always got to talk about like mental health stuff or trauma or anything like that. It's like learning how to actually build a rapport with another freaking humanoid, and learning how to communicate and being able to say, okay, well, maybe I'm all right and feel comfortable enough to start talking about some of my life stuff. Or like for me, I had to take ownership of all my shit, right? I didn't want to be responsible or accountable or any of this before. But that's the most important things I need to do today in my life. I need to be accountable. I need to be responsible. But I also have to have a very deep understanding is I'm only responsible for my stuff. I can't be out there trying to fix the world when I have no clue how, like, where the hell my head's at, right? So I have to make sure that I'm present for myself. I have to make sure that when I wake up every morning, I'm like, okay, well, let's do an evaluation. What's my purpose today? What are my motives today? How do I want to project myself out in society today? What do I want that to look like? Right? Like, and I've said it a billion times. Like every day I wake up and I do my very best to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. And then like it took a long time. It took a long time to even have a concept that I had some good qualities, because that's not how I viewed myself before. I loathed every aspect of my being before I started to really look at myself and say, okay, well, even though I was out there with my freaking head up my ass trying to make a difference, I didn't have any tools. I didn't have the proper tools to even actually make things better, right? But my when I was out there, just kind of like flapping around like a freaking idiot, my motive was right. I just didn't have the proper tools to actually make a positive difference in the world, right? But my motives were correct. I just didn't. I wasn't going in the proper direction with how I was trying to I guess manipulate my surroundings or my environment or the people in my life at that point, because that's what I would do. I was the manipulator. I was the narcissist. I was you give me to appease me, and then I'll pretend that I'm gonna be better for a little while. That's real shit. That's the real shit I had to own, right? That's the stuff that I had to look way deep inside of myself and take ownership of. And when I started to really take ownership of my stuff, okay, well, instead of doing all this negative shit, how about I try to replace that with something of a more positive nature, right? So I started to listen, and that's when I came in and I started to change my life. I had to shut the hell up. I had to shut the hell up, and I needed to freaking listen. Instead of thinking or believing I have this, or I have all the answers, or I was the one with the God complex and shit, right? So I had to shut up, and I needed to open my ears and actually fucking listen for once. And when I started to do that, I started to identify with parts of myself that I told myself I don't do those things, or I don't look at that. I don't address that. I don't address these things because they were ugly. They were like ugly parts of myself I didn't want to address. But those are the things I must address today, right? And if these words that I'm sharing with you today re- move something in with you, like it's okay. So a big part of my issue was I refused to let myself feel, right? Because feeling was a weakness. I was what I was That was ingrained in my brain. growing up. You don't feel. You stuff all those feelings and emotions, and you just take it. You take it and you take it. Well, what would happen? I was I'd stuff all these feelings and emotions, and I would just explode. And I'd be divorced again, or I'd have to rebuild my life all over again. Or I'd run away and then come back 3 months later. Everything's awesome. No, because I didn't freaking address anything that needed to be addressed. So like there's a lot of things in my life that I still need to look at and look at and do. I like do more soul searching. I talk a lot of I work a lot with my sponsor and stuff too. So like if I'm going through a situation or I'm feeling or emotion I don't identify with, I'm okay. Well, this is what's going on in my life, and let's talk about it. Right? It's just this opening up your mouth and saying something. Like, and when you do, it might sound all fucked up to you, but like it's like I needed to be real with myself. I had to be. I'm not going to be real or honest with you if I can't be real and honest with myself. Right? So, and that's a huge aspect of how I want to move forward. I want to continue. Right? I want to continue looking at those things and doing it like a regular inventory of where Scott head's at. Is Scott's head at like, am I okay, or am I head up my ass today? Right? Because I'm gonna have bad days, but that's okay. I relatively have good days. Sometimes life just throws you a monkey wrench, and like, what do I do now? Right? But that's the point. Like, I've talked about many times as well as like, what's the meaning of life? Like, the meaning of life for me today is adversity and what you do with it, right? So like, being able to self-identify and being able, okay, well, like, I'm going through something that looks familiar to me from the past. How do I navigate this today, right? Do I go back to old behavior and try to avoid it, or push it under the rug, or and do all that, or do I take life head on today? Do I approach this in a different light? Do I just react in this moment, or do I gather all the information I possibly can get and then respond accordingly in the situation? Right? So like, there's a lot of different things that I need to really address still in my life that, like, I'm getting to the point in my life now where I'm learning how to treat Scott, to do nice things for Scott, right? I was so used to giving. I'm a giver, right? Being a nurturer and stuff. But like, I'm learning how to nurture myself too, like my needs and stuff, and that's okay. Yeah, I am very blessed. Like, I wake up relatively, and I'm like, okay, it's a choice. I used to wake up, I used to not want to wake up in the mornings. I believe life was shit. I was going to die broken and alone in a ditch somewhere. Right? I wasn't going to live till 30. Look, I'm level 52 today, or now. So, like, I have a lot to be grateful for. There's been many times where I shouldn't even be here with you anymore. So, all right. That was quite a rant, chat. But it feels good. It feels good to come out and empty your brain. Right? Just come out and just explain I did, like, from who I was before, without not having words at all, period. And I would just sit in the corner quiet by myself. I would accept things how they were, because they were familiar, and I know I didn't think I believed at that point I was just irrelevant. As men, we're not irrelevant. We have to accept the fact that we are not. We're not irrelevant. We're very relevant. If we're going to be in a partnership or a relationship or whatever the situation may be, like, we're a part of that equation, right? A relevant part of that equation. So, all right. Crap. All right. All right, let's go for a walk. We're gonna put you on the selfie stick. I got my beverage. Oh, I guess I needed to come and empty my brain today. Feels good. Holy crap. Well, if anyone is out there and has moved something within you, just you're in the right place. I'm trying to create this environment for a platform or environment or network or whatever label you want to put on it, like for men. Men don't have nearly enough spaces to actually come and just be, right? Come and vent or listen or whatever. And like I say, like it doesn't matter if you're taking part in the discussion or you're just here listening or whatever whatnot. Everyone is appreciated. Women, men, teens, whatever. Like the world we live in right now is just so backwards. It's messed up. So just we everyone needs somewhere like somewhere just to be, just to listen or be somewhere positive. That's why I haven't had freaking cable in like over like 30 years, because all you see on TV is negative, negative, negative. I don't watch TV. I don't watch. If I want to see something I'm interested in, I'll look it up online, on here on YouTube or whatever, and I'll consume what I choose to consume. Like the reason I stopped watching TV is I was watching the Comedy Network and CNN, so I was always yelling at the TV, right? So I'm like, okay, enough of this. So yeah, I haven't. I've disconnected my cable for like it's been like what, like decades now, I think. So that's crazy. Yeah, you hear enough negativity on a regular basis just walking down the street, and like in the first place, like I don't need I don't need to see it on TV too. So, all right, let's go for a walk. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess I needed to eat my brain, chat. All right. All right. And break down the tripod here. Still pretty warm today. Again, it's supposed to feel like 32 later. Like later in the day, it's been freaking weird. It's like we're instead of like what 7 o'clock, it's supposed to feel like 32 or something like that here. It's insane. Okay. Okay. Two. All right. All right, let's go check out the water line, chat. Yep. All right, let's go. So yeah, so like we were initially talking about like feelings of loneliness, especially like as men, and feeling left behind, right? Or taking advantage of or whatnot. I don't know. It was important that I found places, safe places I could come and just be me. I didn't have to tell someone else's story. I didn't have to please anyone. I didn't have to do any of that crap anymore. I could just come find places that I could just be myself, to be just be, man. I didn't feel safe. Well, when I came into the rooms of recovery, I didn't even feel safe in my own head. Right? I didn't feel safe in my own head. I didn't believe I could make a positive life choice. It took me a long time to have an understanding that, you know what, I am capable of making healthy life choices. And choices for myself. And I'm not, and today I'm not a sheeple today. Right? I want to be a wolf. I want to be a leader. I want to be a mentor. I want to be a positive role model. I want to inspire people. I want to do all the things that I didn't have growing up myself. I didn't have positive role models. I had toxic, horrible, abusive role model, like people in my life, right? So I want to make sure that people know that they deserve better than that. They deserve to be heard. That people have an understanding that they're appreciated, and that their words and their thoughts and all of those things that they think they're insignificant are not. Then everything in life is significant, including yourself. I didn't believe that about myself either, like years ago. But everything is relevant. Everything is relevant. Everything is significant. So like, don't ever think that you're insignificant, because you are not. You're loved. You're accepted for you. You don't have to tell someone else's story. You know, your dreams aren't stupid. Your aspirations aren't dumb. You know, the things that you are passionate about are important to someone. You know, so I was told that I would never get a book published. I was told that I was, you know, never gonna have anything positive to share with the world or society, or, you know, I was a piece of crap, or, you know, it's all of this negative stuff. And that was just drilled into my freaking cranium for decades, until I just made a decision to when I came into the rooms of recovery, I told people I'm not gonna be the person that I'm expected to be anymore, because I wanted to make change in my life. I had to cut a lot of people out of my life by necessity, for my own freaking sanity at that point, because I had already freaking been to institutions. I've already, you know, I was following in my freaking mom's footsteps. I thought like drugs and alcohol and all this stuff were gonna fix all my problems. And no, they did not. So I learned a lot of really hard life lessons. I haven't had a drink or a drug in pretty much like 15 or 16 years. I just stopped freaking smoking like a month or so ago now. So like, I can't afford to put a band-aid on issues that need to be, like, super important issues that need to be addressed. I don't want to just use a freaking tourniquet on a freaking open wound, right? I want to make sure I'm going to the right place. You're not going to go to a freaking, like, a carpenter to get your freaking car fixed, right? So you go out and you research and you find the tools that are going to work for you, with what tools that you need to acquire for your own toolbox. of your life skills or coping skills or all of these things. I had to acquire all of these myself because I didn't have any of these like years ago. But if I can share some of the tools that I've learned along my own way with someone else, and they can identify, or they can with how I was feeling in those moments, and then they're able to apply some of the tools and stuff like that I can hopefully be able to share that with you or whoever it is out there, and I can make a difference in someone's life that day. That's a good day. Just having someone out there that you're able to identify with, so you don't feel so alone in your brain for a couple minutes. That's a good day. Because like I had to get to the point where, all right, what I'm doing is not working. It's pretty damn broken. My life's gone to shit. And if I don't do anything soon, I'm gonna not be here anymore. Well, let's say that, because I had a plan. Right? About 2 weeks before I came into the rooms of recovery, I was starting a plan, putting a plan into action to freaking not be here anymore. So and I had to make a decision. Did I wanna live, or did I wanna die? Right? And that's what it came down to. And finally, for the first time in my life, I wanted to live. And I fight for my life every day today. Well, I live today. I was just existing before. I do my best every day to live every moment to the fullest today. Alright, let's go down by the water, chat. Alright, let's go. Legs are feeling better. Not too bad today. Alright, let's go. Just getting out every day and getting yourself motivated. You can't wait for the motivation to happen. You have to create that sometimes in your own life. So it's as a writer, right? Like someone told, if you're waiting to be inspired, you're never going to be productive, right? So you got to go out there and you got to create your own opportunities. If you're not out there actually actively creating your own opportunities, you're never gonna get anywhere. Your life is just gonna be one continuous struggle, and you're gonna wonder, why the hell am I not getting anywhere? I'm just freaking stagnant. Well, because you're sitting on your ass at home on the couch, and you're not getting out of the house. You're isolating. That's why. You got to create your own opportunities a lot of the times anymore to make a freaking buck, or just go out there. I carry my books with me. I sell my books when I can, or I try to promote my brand when I can. I'll gift, if I see a little minion, a little kid or whatever like that with their parents, hey, can I gift you some books? And cool, yay. Put a smile on someone's face that day. That's a good day. Okay, so just wake up and do your best to see the good, right? All I could see before was the negative and the horribleness, and you gotta change your attitude. I do my best every day to have an attitude of gratitude. When you get up in the morning and you make a decision that I'm gonna have a kick-ass day today. It's gonna be a good day. You're relatively gonna have a good day. There's the spillway. I'm a poet and don't know it. Have a good day. There's the spillway. All right. All right. This is the water. Look at even a few days ago, that was gushing water out of there. We're gonna be able to set up, hopefully, down here to the tripod. I haven't been actually down here for a couple years at least. So I'm hoping that when the water does recede, that it's going to be that rocky area down there again. So we can, like the beachy area with the rocks and the sand and stuff, down by the water. I'm doing my best to follow my doctor's directions for my leg too. So probably going to be out here for a little bit with you guys still. And then I'm going to go home, get some rest, do some more editing, or some background stuff in the channel. Get whatever highlight it brings up from the live stream up. And get some rest. And then come back out later today. That's what I've been doing usually now. Look at that. Hold on. Jeez, look at the island out there now. Look. It's the island. Wow. Holy crap. All right. Look at this. Oh, look. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Hey, cool. Check this out. Look. This is what I was just talking about. See how there's the rocks on the beach here? Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Look, look. Oh, look at all the shells. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is the area I was talking about. And then like all here and all around the bend back here. All around that area will all be all rocky. Look at all the shells. Like there's like crayfish. There's probably gonna be some like little peat frogs, like tadpoles and stuff in these little areas over here as well. Look at this. Isn't that cool? Nice. I'm excited. I'm gonna get a fishing pole. You know what, chat? I got a little bit of extra cash I was not expecting. Maybe what I'll do is I'll go grab a damn fishing pole and we can do some fishing. How'd you like that? Sound good? Being like my own boss now. It's like a feel of like liberation. I'm just gonna do what I want to do. Feels good. Out in nature, exploring, chatting with you guys, out in nature. Can't beat that. You can't beat being your own boss. It's good. It's all about like just making a decision, right? I'm not gonna like spend my most precious commodity, which is my time, having my time dictated to me how I must spend that time. I think I'm done with that now. Whatever happens from here on out is a giant unknown, and that's okay. I'm okay with that today. That doesn't scare me anymore. I'm just gonna live. I'm gonna live every moment to the fullest. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go out, I'm going to live, I'm gonna do my best to get out there and network and find other creators or people or authors or publishers, and I'm gonna network my ass off. That's what I'm gonna do. That's nice. Okay. That's what I'm gonna do, chat. I want to get my freaking passport. I want to travel. I'm gonna go do all the things. Oh. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I might just get a freaking train ticket and just... I really want to go to Kingston, Ontario. I want to go there just to see what's going on. I know Central Kingston, what I'm hearing is pretty freaking gnarly. It's pretty bad. But at least going out there and just looking and checking it out and getting some footage, or maybe that's what will happen with the channel, right? It'd be like a nature travel vlog kind of situation. Sounds exciting, actually. I really have nothing tying me here anymore. Everyone else in my life has pretty much moved on or talking about moving on from here, so I just want to spread my wings and just go experience more life. That's what I want. Go experience more life. Go live. Oh shit, hold on. I am here. If you're new, I'm Scott. Welcome to Scott. Real Talk with Scott. Talking about going out and doing some traveling, chat. I'm gonna go home, get some rest. I picked up an air conditioner yesterday and a fan for my room and stuff too, so I want to put that in today. The air conditioner in the window and get that all taped up. Do that. I assembled my fan yesterday, so it's going in my room. It's okay. It's a good day, chat. Feeling blessed. Feeling positive. I'm feeling healthy. You know? It's nice to feel not only like, oh, my leg is sore, but other than that, I got my health. I feel healthy physically, mentally, spiritually. I think I'm finding a sense of balance in my life as well. I'm finding a sense of oneness and balance, and it feels good. A sense of freedom, liberation, a sense of freedom. You know? I feel free. I don't feel bound to like a sense of time. I think time is irrelevant. It's more like what you do with the moments you have, because that's all it is. All we have is right now. All we have is this moment. All we have is, we can either like waste that moment or we can embrace the moment. I choose not to waste moments anymore. I want to embrace every moment, and I want to use every moment to the best of my ability to make a better change in the world. You know? It's like the world doesn't happen, like things don't happen to me, they happen for me, right? And it's either I'm either present to see the things that are happening for me, or I'm absent. I choose to be present. So I was absent for myself for a lot of years, and I'm learning how to be present for myself now. I'm carving more of a voice, I'm more of like confidence as well. I feel more confident in myself. I feel more confident that like I have like everything I've been doing. I've been any decisions I've been making in my life in the last little while. Like I'm asking people about things, what their opinions are or whatnot, and brainstorming, and you know, and I'm sharing how I'm viewing things, and they're showing, and then they're like asking me, and I'm talking to them, and I'm getting a lot of really like positive feedback of where like where my what direction my life's going in right now, right? So I just didn't make a choice to be self-employed just all willy-nilly. No, I would have before, but it was important that I got like other people's thoughts and opinions and whatnot. But in the end, I made my own decision. But I made sure I had all the information before I made any like super important like life changes and stuff like that. But I feel really good and positive about the changes that I have made. Oh my gosh! All right, now I'm getting tired. Up the stairs. Oh my gosh. I do appreciate everyone who's been here, even if you're just in the background listening. And whoever was out there talking about Jesus, this Mexican dude in chat, thank you for being here. Whoever Ethan Hawke smashed the like button. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go home, get some rest. Take the doctor's orders into heart. Get off my leg for a little while, relax. Oh. What do you think about God using baby killing and mass abortions as punishment in the Bible? All right, so my thoughts on that is there used to be a thing, well, called sympathetic magic, where like they'd sacrifice their firstborn or an animal or whatever to their gods and stuff like that, which is like deep rooted in like paganism and whatnot, right? Because like before Christianity, there was God, like there was many gods. God was plural, right? The people weren't told, if you don't believe in our God, we're gonna kill you. That's what Christians did, right? So like sympathetic magic was a huge part of people's belief systems and how they worship their gods. So it's like Joan the Volcano, right? The movie. Everything is ritualistic. When Constantine's converted to Christianity, he brought all of his pagan values into Christianity and incorporated that into Christianity. So without paganism, Christianity wouldn't exist. It's not hard to look up your history and do some research to find out what the origins of Christianity are, or where they came from, or what their roots were. You know, so when you're talking about, I wouldn't say abortions, I would say, okay, so like before, like they would have the baby, but then they would sacrifice the baby, right? So they're already sacrificing the baby before the baby's even out of the womb now. So it's different. It was different way back when they would have the baby, and then they would just sacrifice the baby in a ritualistic manner, as well as like a goat or whatever it was, or chicken or whatever your beliefs are. So it all comes back to sympathetic magic. and paganism, and any ritualistic behaviors and stuff like that that are the roots of any organized religion anymore. So I know a lot of history as it comes to Christianity. It doesn't take a lot of time or effort to do your own research, and you'll find out about like all kinds of interesting stuff about the Sabbats and the equinoxes and stuff like that as well. So how all of the secular holidays now were based on the Sabbats and the major Sabbats and the lesser Sabbats of the pagan calendar. So if you have questions about that kind of stuff as well, I can help you with more information about that as well. That's a big part of my world. I was brought up Christian Baptist, and I'm like the polar opposite of that today, but not because the reason because of that is I started asking questions, and the church didn't like that, so I was pretty much ostracized from the church. Oh shit, hold on. Hold on. Here, I'll come this way. Oh shit, you're going that way. Hey, fuck. Okay. Oh shit! Oh. You okay? Alright, I'll come there. God damn it. Yeah, I should have said I was gonna come over to you. God damn. Hey, I'm all sweaty. And on a live stream. Yeah, it's okay.
Well, I definitely have an injury on my knee, that's for sure.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I guess you and Josh have bikes now.
No, this is Josh's.
This is Josh's.
Yeah, this is Josh's.
Shit.
He lets me use it.
Okay.
I was at work.
I seen him last night at work.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was out shopping. I bought an air conditioner and a fan and some stuff for my studio I'm building in my room soon.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
All right.
All right.
I love you.
I love you. I'll let you get going.
All right. Bye
All
for
right.
now.
Have a good night
You as well.
or day. All right. Be safe. Or safer. He's one of my minions. One of my kids. So yeah, you have questions about belief systems and stuff like that. You can ask me questions about that as well. I appreciate the answer, the question though. I appreciate that. Timber Fox. Thank you. I appreciate you. Uh-oh. Holy fuck, man. Alright, almost home. Back to the domicile. Oh gosh. So, okay. I think the act of abortions are ritualistic to a degree. There's a lot of selfishness there and whatnot, but it depends on the situation. I have thoughts on that too. Oh wait, the other. Like, I believe if someone let's just say, physically harmed and that causes a pregnancy, then I have no issue. I have no problem with that pregnancy being terminated. That's a whole other issue, other topic right there. That's okay. So that goes back about that's someone's actions, someone else's actions causing a physiological reaction in someone else's body. I guess that what you call that. So something unwanted. That would be a case of something that's unwanted, right? So something unwanted is in your body from a horrible act, then I have no problem with terminating that. Okay. All right. Love you, chat. I'll catch you again. See you again soon.